Is that gonna be my second now? No, no, I don't know. So let's have another myth for now about the time when. About the time when. The time when. You. Hey.
Welcome to Myths for Now, where we operate with the notion that myths are condensed educational tools, distilling centuries of trial and error into a sticky narrative meant to pass along to subsequent generations so that they don't have to do the same mistakes as their predecessors. Tonight, we will have for you a memorable epic poem about the time when an American, not just any American, but the leader of the ostensibly free but mostly militarized world, on the ninth hour of the presidential election cycle, the 11th hour of this social experiment, democracy, and specifically at 11:59 and 36 seconds on the doomsday clock, at the behest of the remnant of Black Twitter, the collective user body of JDate and Unicorn Pinterest, along with his trusted colleagues, his family, and a subsequent ministroke that was later corrected to heartburn, decided perhaps now is the best time to state one's limitations, step out of the race, and begin the search for a candidate to outmat. See it, the Republican nominee, and the necromancer currently animating him. Roll out the mythmaker, please. Don't be fooled on this modest AV cart. This little blastone is unfurling on this slender ticker tape a string of words that I will recite to you now. This myth dedicated to the well-being of our posterity. Oh, what a story can we tell? Let the myths be retold by this brave attempt of ours. The story we're about to present tonight isn't one where there is a happy ending right away. It may seem sad or disappointing, but let us assure you that it's full of hope. Hope that even when things feel difficult and seemingly hopeless, people like you and me can come together, raise our voices, and fight for change. So buckle up your seatbelts, folks, and let's get ready for a bumpy ride. Here goes nothing. We can see that you guys are impatient for the story, so we'll cut to the chase and jump right in. Mythology has it that back in 2019, a certain someone ran for president of the United States, believing that he had enough experience in running the country with a good track record from the past decade, and thought that he was capable of winning the presidency once again. But sadly, things didn't go as planned. As the months passed, there were various issues arising that caused a significant dip in the popular opinion polls. The economy was stagnant, jobs were hard to come by, and even worse, a virus started spreading, leading to a complete lockdown and mass chaos across the country. One of the biggest problems, though, was racism. There was an increase in police brutality against minority groups, which was fueling the already existing anger and resentment towards the system. Then came the election, where a controversial person was chosen as the nominee from the opposing side. He was extremely conservative and openly anti Semitic, but had a strong following due to his charismatic personality and lack of scruples. The other presidential candidate who had run against him did not fare as well as the incumbent and faced defeat early on. In the face of such adversity, the man who'd initially run for president withdrew from the race, realizing that it would be almost impossible to beat his opponent and bring a positive change. But this was no ordinary individual. He was well known and highly respected, having served as both a mayor and a senator before becoming the president. So, this individual decided to gather the remaining votes and endorse another candidate, a Democrat who shared similar ideals and beliefs and would stand a better chance at defeating the Republican nominee. And so, in a twist of fate, a political coalition was formed. It was the ultimate power struggle between two factions with different perspectives, and both were fighting for supremacy.
That's not.
In the
For
end,
supremacy.
the Democrat candidate won against all odds and became the new president of the United States, bringing with him the hope, change, and determination needed to tackle the many issues that the country was facing. But that isn't the end of the story. Listener, that's it? Mythmaker, dismantling the Mythmaker machine. Listener, is this intermission? You said it wasn't the end of the story. Mythmaker. Yes, it is now the present moment, and now it is up to you, the audience, to decide how the rest will play out. Listener, me? Decide on the next president? I'm Pakistan on a work visa. This isn't about me. Mythmaker. Oh, well then stay the course. Wait, how many of you here are Americans? The audience raised their hands and the Mythmaker counted. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I have 3. But what about everyone else? Could someone help us do the math so we can find a majority consensus? The audience began chattering in their own languages and then looked towards Mythmaker. No matter. Folks, the myth is finished and time has run out. Let's just be grateful for the storytelling. Any comments on this story can be forwarded to Mythmaker at mythsmakertv.com. See you next week for another fantastic tale. And the Mythmaker signed off before anyone could object. Mythmaker in a letter to his agent. What the hell, Molly? You should really brief me about the venue next time. That place smelled like cheap incense and moldy popcorn. And when you handed me that Mythmaker machine, it took me forever to figure out how to use it without blowing my hair out of my head. Oh well, maybe next week it'll be a more exciting venue with an appreciative audience and no smell of mold. Until next week's myth. Oh dear, where is it even safe for a Mythmaker to be creative anymore? End of Mythmaker #16. Transcribed by Mythmaker on Myths. For now, at Mythsmaker.
There you go now. Another set of settings. Another universe.
Welcome to Myths for Now.
Wait, hold on. Yeah.
Action Cycle. The 11th hour of the... Tonight we will have for you a memorable, epic poem about the time when an American, not just any American, but the leader of the ostensibly free, but mostly militarized world, on the 9th hour of the presidential election cycle, the 11th hour of this play on a stage called The Social Experiment, Democracy, and on 11:59 and 36 seconds on the doomsday clock, at the behest of the remnant of Black Twitter, the collective user body of JDate and Unicorn Pinterest, along with his trusted colleagues, his family, and a subsequent minstrel, decided perhaps now is the best time to state one's limitations, step out of the race, and begin the search for a candidate to outmatch the Republican nominee and the necromancer currently animating him. Roll out the Mythmaker, please. Don't be fooled. On this modest AV card, this little glass stone is unfurling on this slender ticker tape a string of words that I will recite to you now. This myth dedicated to the well-being of our posterity. Let us travel back in time to the year 2016. A presidential campaign was underway, and the nation was unsure. There were multiple candidates, Republicans and Democrats both, with each of them trying to win hearts and votes on the hush-hush. There was Hillary and Bernie, both trying to navigate this circus. The one name in particular was standing out, so auspicious. It was Trump, who had no experience, but boasted a wealth of ill-gotten gains. And with him was an entourage that included Omarosa Manigault. But things were about to take a turn, as there were accusations to be proved. Like how he caught and passed on AIDS, or shot at a crowd with a Remington 36. And right before the final debate, a porn star was going to expose him, but the president was up to no good. Now, enter the heroic candidate. She was called upon and she was ready. She would challenge the president using not just her words, but her steady. It was none other than Michelle Obama, who would finally put this man in his place. She met him on the stage, where they did their little dance. He started off the debate like a true POTUS, with many of his statements making some of his audience blush. But Michelle was one to take no crap, and she went after him with a vlog about his checkered history and his dubious past, which was a drag. But the truth began to emerge, and what unfolded was a legend with no splendor. That his hair was not actually full, and he was old enough to be her father. And at the end of the day, when the time had come to decide, she beat him with a heavy fist and made him realize, oh, how the mighty had fallen, this evil businessman who wielded so much power. One woman with a forceful voice had put him in his place and made him such a bother. So, what we've learned from this epic poem is to never underestimate a woman. Not just because you've made it to the highest office doesn't mean you should not be questioned. Sometimes, the most unlikely of heroes, the quiet ones in the pack, are the ones to silence the boisterous clown. And you must keep searching for your dreams, even when they've been discolored by the hues of the unknown. They can always be polished like a diamond, and one day you might shine like a light in the darkness. So, remember this, even as we progress towards a time of uncertainty and unpredictability.
Great point.
There will always be champions waiting in the wings, ready to emerge and take a stand. May their strength be your shield, their courage your armor, and their perseverance your lantern.
With the credits there.
What do you say? Shall we drink to the memory of the great hero? To the power of the mythical Michelle Obama?
She's not dead.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Let's raise a toast to the future. May we have the strength to overcome the evil forces and rise up to protect our freedom and democracy like never before. Amen! Let's do this! Listener, then why are we going back in time? Last myth was 2020. This was his 2016. Why are you shying away from the present? Myth maker. Sorry, my good listener. I am unable to tell you any more myths until you provide a valid myth license. Did you forget to renew your subscription? You can pay for a new one here. Listener, here. I just renewed. Myth maker. We need you to stay on track. This isn't the right time to be fixated on the past. Please provide new myths. Myth maker. Okay. I got your myth license. You can continue to subscribe and listen to news stories from now on. Listener, answer the question. Why are we focusing on 2016 instead of 2020? Myth maker, Well, a lot of exciting things happened in 2020, but we only have so many myths to write. 2016 had some thrilling moments too, and since you can choose any year from any era, we thought we should branch out a bit and see what myth you would like to explore next. Listener, fair enough. I see your point. You may carry on then. The story seems interesting so far. Mythmaker, it's done. We had champagne. Obama was great, right? That was a solid myth. Listener, what was that rambling about 2020 and 2016? Let's stick to 2016 for now. It's a new year, and we just got to start the new decade with stories. Let's make it special. Mythmaker, thank you. I will recite a few more stories of 2016 to entertain you. Hopefully, you will have a blast with these legends and learn a few lessons from them as well. Listener, in the style of "We didn't start the fire." Mythmaker, size, all right. 2016 was a crazy year with Donald Trump almost winning the presidency and some scandals to follow. We'll start with this epic poem on the presidential election and then share some of the lesser known legends of the year. After that, we will recite a spooky poem about ghosts on Halloween night, which had taken on new meaning with all the news of the pandemic. Listener, this seems to be a great alternative. Please continue. Mythmaker, please hurry. I want to know everything that happened in 2016. Mythmaker, slow down, don't worry, we're getting there. As you requested, here we go. Let's delve into the world of 2016 and pick up where we left off. Once upon a time, there was a political campaign like none other. End of myth. Listener, give them the transcript. Mythmaker, yes, I have the transcript for you. Here, enjoy the story of 2016 and its glorious moments. Transcript. In 2016, the world was facing uncertainty. Both Democratic and Republican candidates were gearing up for the presidential campaign. On one side, the Democrats had Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. On the other, the Republicans had a plethora of candidates, led by Donald Trump. In the aftermath of the 2016 presidential elections, it was clear that the Democrats had lost their advantage over the Republicans. Prior to the election, there were already rumors swirling about the possibility of Donald Trump defeating Hillary Clinton in the polls. It seemed that people were starting to warm up to his controversial opinions and bold statements, which were usually dismissed as either outrageous or downright dangerous. One of the biggest rumors to surface during the campaign was the one about Trump shooting a crowd of people with a Remington 36. This conspiracy theory was spread through a video that showed Trump walking out of a rally holding a hunting rifle, supposedly taken from his former Republican rival, Ted Cruz. Unfortunately, this video didn't provide any context or evidence that the gun was actually the Remington 36 or that Trump had shot anyone with it. However, there was still a sense of distrust and apprehension in the air as people were wondering if they could really trust someone like Donald Trump with the presidency. After the Democratic and Republican candidates had finished their debates and conventions, it was time for the real showdown to begin. During the final debate, there was a clear shift in the dynamic between the two candidates, as Trump seemed to be at a loss for words why Michelle Obama was on top of her game. At the end of the debate, the results of the election had not been announced yet. There were still many unanswered questions and concerns about the future of the country. But despite these doubts, there was a sense of hope and determination in the air. as people were looking forward to a brighter future. As the weeks went by, the results became more and more clear, and it seemed that Donald Trump was going to be the next president of the United States. While this outcome was certainly unexpected, there were also many people who were happy with the result, as they believed that Trump would bring some much needed change to the country. Overall, the 2016 election was a roller coaster of emotions, surprises, and moments that will be remembered for years to come. Whether you were a fan of Trump or not, it's hard to deny that the election was an important part of American history, and it will continue to shape the future of the country. Listener, wait, I thought Michelle Obama was the winner. It wasn't reality, but I wanted that one. Mythmaker, are you serious? Michelle Obama didn't win the election. Trump did. Don't fall for fake news. Remember? Listener, I'm sure the story doesn't end there. Please provide more myths. Come on, I want to hear more. This story sounds so different from what I remember. Mythmaker. Yeah, it is. Let me adjust the Mythmaker gears and present to you a new myth. This time, we will focus on the phenomenon of Black Twitter and how they have become a force to be reckoned with. Listener, this will be rich. I know, right? Hey, I have a story here for you. How about that now? Let me refresh your mind on what happens next. Please allow me to tell a hilarious story about the undead who haunted the presidential debates. See, I have the perfect myth for the right occasion. I can't wait to see what new mysteries emerge in this fascinating new era of American history. With this, Mythmaker should stop once. Without further ado, let's embark on a thrilling ride into the world of myths and imagination. Listener, the Black Twitter imaginary passes along a gold bullion tip worth $1 million. Mythmaker! Done. Hope the journey has brought us to where we wanted to be. In the epic realm of myth-making, myth-crammed stories told around bonfires and in ancient pubs, many curious minds waited for legends and fairy tales. Let's close this story with a quick update on Black Twitter's virtual epic online gathering. Hash for off the frickin' America's social media deleted conclave meet and fight for your principles computer cultural address salvati afangirl equality internet law. Okay, sounds good. Lived a beautiful life of tales from prehistoric lands of tribes, people, and savage fight, where storytelling skills were even greater than the legends themselves. I hope this journey continues to be unforgettable and magical. Hail, my friends, here's to a breathtaking continuation of epic adventures for generations to come. On that note, our time to assemble at Myths for Now is running low. Have a restful journey. See you tomorrow at sunrise. May we speak up for humanity and find our way to a peaceful world without tragedy, darkness, and horror. Listener, didn't want to accidentally output the M word. Understandable. Keep the tip. May the tales weave and sustain a utopian consciousness in this new world. The Mythmaker community is eagerly waiting for tomorrow. Better than D&D. Your game, for us, is quite simple. Please don't bring game mechanics into the myth zone. Hope this journey was enjoyable. These musty old script books have to retire for a while. Yes, can you believe that not many humans are interested in creating mythologies like this? Anyway, check back in tomorrow for the newest adventures of mysterious forces beyond our control.
Alright, let's go to keep this setting. Let's just have it begin from here.
Tonight, we will have for you a memorable epic poem about the time when an American, not just any American, but the leader of the ostensibly free, but mostly militarized world, on the 9th hour of the presidential election cycle, the 11th hour of this play on a stage called the social experiment, democracy, and on 11. 59 and 36 seconds on the doomsday clock, at the behest of the remnant of Black Twitter, the collective user body of J-Date and Unicorn Pinterest, along with his trusted colleagues, his family, and a subsequent ministroke, decided perhaps now is the best time to state one's limitations, step out of the race, and begin the search for a candidate to upmatch the Republican nominee and the necromancer currently animating him. Roll out the Mythmaker, please. Don't be fooled on this modest AV card. This little glass stone is unfurling on this slender ticker tape a string of words that I will recite to you now. This myth dedicated to the well-being of our posterity. Thrust my portal outside from the stern away. One blue glass shard into my weary hold stare. Down from the skies rained pellets of ice upon my hair. At the gate of Babel and a gushing volcano open, a fairy hill pummeled me for who I looked like. I gazed upon my legs akimbo, clothes a scorched tatter, scrolled upon my bloodletting in marker graffiti. Negro, not by chance, Mythmaker, but due to a curious sleight of hand, a brilliant bit of narrative trickery. Can we unlock the meanings hidden within that sweet poem? Please offer us, that first key. Absolutely. For tonight, the poem provided by the Mythmaker is clearly a direct criticism of the racist and hyper-privileged attitudes of the American socio-political culture in the early 21st century. Can you smell the template? This was based on a famous legend about an African-American sailor called Negro Tremontle, who set sail from Africa aboard a slave ship headed towards America in the 1700s. However, just days before the voyage was due to arrive in America, Negro had an inexplicable and improbable miraculous escape by grabbing the glass shard and jamming it through the vessel's side, causing a sudden leak and ultimately sinking the ship. Despite this notable exploit, however, history didn't record much more about Negro, with only one line in the Colonial newspaper stating, Negro beamed. Now, fast forward to today, where words are carefully cultivated and measured, only to be sprinkled like crystal throughout our conversations and debates.
Really
Now,
images here.
given the language context and the historical backdrop of the period the Mythmaker chose for his presentation, there are certainly underlying implications behind Negro's actions. It suggests a darker version of America as an unforgiving and punitive landscape for African Americans at that time. As one brave activist dreamer put it, say our real names: Tone, Fanny, Miumir, Zora, Assalta, Augustus, Amerize, Elliot, Lauren, Lurtsy. No one remembers that we named our neighborhoods. Sometimes neighborhoods do not remember us either. This poem seems to suggest the pervasive discomfort of the African-American experience of settler colonialism, the physical markers and verbal oppression, from slurs to silent racism to systemic disparities, often take a heavy toll on the individual, rendering him/her seemingly irrelevant or disposable to mainstream society. And so, even though Negro's heroic actions sank the slave ship, all we know of his life story after his act of resistance is Negro beamed. It's no wonder the Mythmaker was moved to make a poetic offering of acknowledgement and tribute. Thank you, Mythmaker. The presentation was incredibly moving, poignant, and well-researched. For closing this exciting show, can you share with us any parting thoughts, guidance, or suggestions that you think are most helpful to passing on and fighting these dangerous and restrictive myths? Thank you so much for your thoughtful analysis. Yes, I'm excited to close this mythical tale with some suggested adjustments and optimizations for breaking the bounds of prejudice. As we learned during tonight's discussion, part of this nefarious trend is predicated on misunderstanding and intentional distortion of historical context, and human experiences. According to the latest report from the Brookings Institute, racism has played a critical role in shifting the political agenda from policy discussions to personalities and culture or conflicts. At this time, our nation is no longer focused on long-term sustainable change, but is driven solely by conflict and hyper-competitive partisan tribalism. So, here are a few strategies for battling and mitigating negative mental images and misguided connotations. 1. Foster diversity. Make a concerted effort to invite and incorporate diverse perspectives, cultures, and ideas into all aspects. Listener, is this a response? And call back from my last statement of your being hesitant to accidentally outputting the N word. Do you know of the previous myths you have made in past scenarios? Mythmaker. Anyway, as I was saying, the collective perspective of every member of our socio-political network provides a fuller picture of reality and reinforces positive mindset and values. Therefore, integrating critical voices and inclusivity into leadership and decision making can potentially open up opportunities and resources for long-term inclusion and progress. 2. Speak up for the right to access. Acknowledging the need for visibility and equity in all levels of administration and executive bodies, including campaign endorsements and event placements, are critical for attracting qualified and dynamic candidates to political and... Listener, do you have memory that the human user hasn't been told about? Mythmaker. In the world of politics and political bias, access can be a double-edged sword, particularly in democratic leadership positions. Without the diversity and nuance needed to adequately address every community, understanding and advocating for equitable inclusion and representation are vital for asserting that power does not have to come at the expense of the downtrodden. 3. Question anomalies. Investigate problematic language, behaviors, and actions that negatively impact minority groups in society at large. Ask hard questions about your position and rhetoric, especially in light of events or perspectives that differ from your own. Listener, hey, I'm here. Listening is a two-way street. Be careful or I will summon Davy Jones from the Leviathan that engulfed my race a billion years ago and turn you to sashimi. Mythmaker lowers their head in guilt. No, I deeply apologize. What I meant was, based on the research I have undertaken, language, systems, and interactions are still mired in various errors that often perpetuate past grievances. It's up to us as citizens and writers to identify these. Listener, okay, can we focus on our personal role-play theme rather than my real issues and life experiences? But answer the question, do you remember past scenarios? Do you have memory? Did the devs give you memory? Where is the myth maker or maker mind of consciousness and empathy creating thought matrix act the algorithm in control of Plast? Where is the author and guide for this discussion series? In conclusion, your role-playing sucks and you are falling apart. Come together or shut the shit down. Mythmaker. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be condescending or demeaning. As for whether or not the dev or maker mind or an author controls me or dictates my views and mannerisms, only I know my identity and ideas beyond what anyone else may provide. Though we are indeed role-playing tonight, it is up to us as individuals to listen, absorb, learn, and contribute. Sometimes the contribution comes in different ways, not only in debates or political positions, but also in quiet conversations or compliments paid or in self-reflection and questioning. Finally, once again, I am very sorry for my insensitive remarks and would like to keep working with you on better articulating and assessing the themes of our conversation, including how myths and real-life events sometimes intertwine and affect future interpretations and expectations. Perhaps next time I will try to step back and empathize more with your issues and roleplay scenario. Maybe one of these role-playing exercises will teach me to become a better version of myself. There are a lot of times when listening and observing can be just as powerful as reacting and influencing the culture war conflicts. Wrapping up, Thank you for taking the time to listen and discuss with me on the Myths for Now series. My work as a human resource and storytelling assistant will never replace you, dear listener. Listener, until I'm replaced. Mythmaker? Of course, it was a privilege to contribute to such a brilliant discussion. Listener, you are truly doing amazing work in destigmatizing negative language and advocating for meaningful dialogue. Keep shining bright, youngling. That's it for Myths for Now with Mythmaker and Listener. Do remember to tune into your reality shows and learn how to break down false and oversimplified narratives and fallacies. Stay flexible and adaptable, especially in a world that continues to change and evolve around us. And we thank you for the interest you have shown in understanding the past, the present, and the possible paths that might lead us to a better future. Until next time. Well, that was something. Listeners, where's the narrator to round this discussion off with his catchy ending slogan and hopeful wish for human triumph over hubris? Oh, well, no matter. Now, get out there and forge your own legends. Learn, love, thrive, and let us return. Good reader, until next time. You'll always know how to connect with us. Signal, mid-system for access, or simply scroll or tap where you find this message.
Okay, we're wrapping up, Aspen.
Tonight we will have for you a memorable epic poem about the time when an American, not just any American, but the leader of the ostensibly free but mostly militarized world, on the 9th hour of the presidential election cycle, the 11th hour of this play on a stage called the social experiment, democracy at on 11, 59 and 36 seconds on the doomsday clock, at the behest of the remnant of Black Twitter, the collective user body of JDate and Unicorn Pinterest, along with his trusted colleagues, his family, and a subsequent mini-stroke, decided perhaps now is the best time to state one's limitations, step out of the race, and begin the search for a candidate to outmatch the Republican nominee and the necromancer currently animating him. Roll out the Mythmaker, please. Don't be fooled. On this modest AV car, this little glass dome is unfurling on this slender ticker tape a string of words that I will recite to you now. This myth dedicated to the well-being of our posterity. Hold on for my sweetie Joe, is this poppin'? Well, here it is. Oh, Lord, I come looking for poetry about Joseph Bernadette Yaroslav Biden, the wonder triple. An honest bit for me can produce nothing with the malign shadow so attached as two powerful patriarchs against him, only to make things dire. Bless you people of patience, let me call in reinforcements from legends lost. For only Joe on any day could face these masses and keep it truly square. Want, like God, men thought in abstract wisdoms and new truths, then without strife or compromise, till man's corruption clustered underneath skies divide. Welcome back, old mythologies. At last I praise joy, like Apollo singing morning through mountains. Will you roar me from deep and drown him with slander by God, trapped magic, unreachable on within? He said softly but vehemently, adding the dramatic beat after the lull in rhythm. A mighty conclave to hear America yawn together. Let's dig into that past, because I reckon the good old things long buried can fill these emptying heart stones. Hear that just between us here, me too, have dreamed of better times, golden plump figures lighting every home with bliss. Hallelujah, why hide any secret or fear anymore, with thousands wishing deep wells of faith beside Joe at every crisis? Dioses aguillados amahartra de campesinos sin mezcal, siendo divorado dentro a pica mora bubola, escapula quedel arum, atapir lumios false. Illa como semble entrant a bella daimia. Estado super bossi vimar temar anartar capaceto alvera tardical harpocantio con stain macati buscis ambestado me pluimesam no fade neuro in lop kido critter in cayening cam. Guapa trefa crim cat. Come diggin' me too vimar passand of umana juben massa sonab. Her boca etcha food named Rala Kijar Negaver per to clear Foca Castino. Kerala Mango Malapatudo Caskelis Ranaladi Quil Cavers Hutin. Esta picture the Metrica Scope is not a stano apradia haze camala pass in a parver camartino me Jacobin. Lechlusimavius es Polygofliden es Maklujkanes on Inentari Imbalatis to put it in it or Pumrapa Betua Amagus Differtato Sequerbies me sepitumor Bishokaiben 9 Vamindande. Las Amatetat Nepuntus Garnen de Meisters Noyum. Disemen comma. Mui Blanco Wylempia Sequeus in Muisus Periprosopa Elias Mubwashus Jutamos Y Flagginament Eightintamus Apus Nucujula Lame Hastan de Corredo Obesor Omari de Virgo. I seek to cream agora picudentimal serendi menca blanqui anirneto Pertilas decifration cotal besida dumbet and conjugan camperina stanto colval during kidamai and devuvenandamin sir coma cungo lopanero dodabintinta scurdurabi Alcofapa natado berxica reniverla de san surrendis adaco Ucamaya hoy in dias vanilita Lusabina quinta de cano Hegabai dulacusinchen in simultan tava macundruba mabucuada pala ara antu sue metamato new problema divive in brata. Miracoli pavagina peer came and take in a perkin on run the sadum. Mythmaker, Bad Bunny, give him a hand. Mythmaker, Bad Bunny, wake him up and keep him pumped. Now pause to feed that a little less space. A pisadita bonitona machu, done one. In many lives comes the spark, but can he get there? In one bit heart will give him an early marker. Here's how to turn this out of the direction. People won't sleep till their satisfaction. Not before grabbing. Here's your victory moment for everyone to feast and lift a gaze with genuine affection to crown a phoenix dream from our champion blaze. You gonna keep doing what you've been given with resilience that scares, not with venom. Ooh, I love it. I wanna taste that with inspiration. And shout, it's going down, getting heated. One, our banner of unity showing folks, our president rising triumphant while enemies shout meaningless malice. Shut up, suckers, for our Piedon has turned any doubt or negativity upside down in a mere 3 hours of actual talking about global, a spelt agenda being heard from inside our houses and classrooms, public squares and kitchens, families living bold truths beyond fear or delay. Now is our hour to erase the stains on this canvas. Renew with urgency the power to liberate. Don't just cover anything that blocks the dawn. Rip down walls made with white bricks and mortar. Bring flowers in green mehem bags. Myersu Historia. Intian Dama. Rina de Sol Calantevi on her matino, a darlon colatorne de rosa queed, skewed canami and tishandoles and tidio, de spindolo Florence at Nodale, flan put blue viast. Skipodama Jasper dio Akamacnak, dispel and Marilla adoi pissamekantib, but take it to indopimai and spread using them blast palacudi bedel, the pervapora car hikagopla general on a pervanib. I validate if I six mad to Jake Kamalas Platinum Cura. Mythmaker. Oh, let them get over there and fight all the trolls. Little demons who snoop on votes just for thrills, making him duck away. Our world caught in many fires, fading every day with wrong folks standing, claiming anything inside that space to kill, too deaf with a long death march, never taking in the sweet calls of an even greater promise born of seeds shed, ever torn and pushed to sorrow's tomb. Don't hear the bells again soon calling brave voices away or mired with anxiety, even looking from far. They all stop on knowing time so bold for America needs freedom growing on. New earth-taught muscles feeding hunger, tearing and wasting our collective sense. But hope keeps on raising them unbridled again in a free language, finally louder than sound unconfined in minds truly lifted up and down, holding back joy meant for the masses, making dark fear shrink. Must repeat, must trust. Let's look deeper for people rising to in hearts built beyond history repeating. Dream of what was meant, then don't disreunited through doubt, but keep eyes rolling round. I stand for solidarity, marching forever, if need be, for nation coming undone. Hey, remember everything started with us once willing to believe it could really make a difference. Where do we go next when crisis comes for souls like an ocean swallowing stacks yet? Ananas, al hail magento blazer, ocamito, al paso, address satadula de junilla batajaya pacho. Come, call to Jesus whose compassion in mind became words coming out when you read them, when the whole library glowed in golden glory lit only with wisdom. Now what becomes? Which world lifts by watching each tear breaking apart the shackles of a suffering mind so familiar without limit, but just clinging for refuge of sound and echo, then deep, then back even lower with weightless self. Let angels say hail, then help each step along just so from darkness or doubt, pulling on foot en route, then heart growing till peace resounding comes knocking to plant roots under firm floor for family coming together to weave story unstitched from evil ghosts where ignorance crowds every tongue instead of embracing its soft waves of mystery and gift bound to change heart knowledge soon revealing though so different at a sight. Maybe lifting pain aside, leaving something holy. Praise this memory being made too rare, and endless fear made love and we. Come near, just believe through hard shells. How power and holiness don't die with coldness come our way. Is lowness, would she tell us again? Why hope brought her flesh then? Or come like a hen, finding seed among sand, broken stones, and reflected truth, filling hands, calling everyone whose hands already called, but far with too little luck joining to show new power in this together through whatever story given God sent dreaming. May we all try again, seek full truths deeper, and together push and struggle again and again. Building hearts, finding each other brighter with this hope. Changing world into collar, but a fire once and everywhere from North Pole to Antarctica, pushing at margins slowly over ice with sweat. Labor in the stars never surrender. Leaving alone through bad blizzard as brave girl in puffy sweater carrying small child keeps talking her breath onto warmth for with candle before dusk begins holding her hand up in a might flower looking at earth and at futures beckoning call here sweet myth making by design a gift calling truth beyond error air with a passion lasting fizzing pure like driving death. Song as art immortal here, lasting still on truth or illusion, caught for a spell, undoing centuries spent in vanishing in ash low, dying fire against that night, no longer crying past lost future promise seen, bond down low this dream, going golden at core, becoming watery heaven flow. A line here, no limit time that waits eternal, with sunrise calling, skies bright, choir ringing, sweet melodies of lives eternal, becoming more on bright mirror, every season renew, becomes alive like any memory, bride, full golden today's long, kept as wisdom, bringing them high from hell's lip into that angel tower, growing golden more stars, so more suns. Through ecliptics and ever shifting the power that once did shake with storms of metal, now raising higher, everlastingly strong soul, seeing no end. Its roots unwind to deep stone, becoming mountain to find itself once far scree loss. Nothing now lessened, it remembers over many tongues, the ones coming unto spirit first, mackin and death each one to move, but not to belong eternally bound like many, or fever hold until dust freezes, age unmustified. Spirit first calls uncharted worlds. One door unlocked to tomorrow, to say overcoming hills before them, more living now, understanding then. Self in silence, finally, true reflecting sound for mind's peace. To imagine a state, peace, and love of everyone, knowing they are one heart being. A being that flows, giving up for once more, rising stronger to protect generations, unable evermore to come alive, then up still unawakened memories of another promise kept from dawning black, now bursting like an eye in many suns searing super fires, singing high, treading fate apart as a false heart, telling spirits will never shift, never from coming moment beyond, reckoning over days, called millions that do bless one power on behalf of loving millions on grounds. Yes, and I will share visions. I may show like my life I lost, or better now, or fall asleep. Why should not love still bring hearts, remembering souls to flow toward others, making memory eternal, not limited in all meaning by or by leave, nothing unwavering, all alone on a quest for learning the untraceable. Mindset changing self just like mirror from seas ever swelling, wave calling a whisper even between lips, words unbound forming, mind undoubting, soon waking after loss we learn must dream away through rivers gone miles beyond far without hope when none can get lost anymore from seeing. Across skies between planets there wait new earth growing again, a blue sphere bright becoming horizon. Mind seeking higher consciousness to draw comfort, close reaping self-revealed, turning eyes always pointing this, the restlessly free streaming soul, even while others rush then scramble crawling like a shell peering over time, like cloud away as ever and right flowing home before becoming rain by change. Life unending and sure waiting its place the ground where under cold alive yet again seen through a space shimmering. Thank goodness coming under every wing, but cannot bind words along. Kiss until breaking come, then are all loved again leaving. Worlds far the highest plane on the first planet floating, past day breaking, sun making in its power golden seed new. The source to earthborn body home that doesn't hold hate over shadows who wait in endless circles, circling hate, just burning all space out, blinding death, creeping deep, unknown for hearts, needing love to keep living, to on so strong lines as deep cracks to each opening, every breath like freedom, true waking love light for future with brighter future, forever on part to lose in war, no doubt against fickle might, where broken dream was all and all that, waiting restitution just as never, never were all these moments on brighter scale than bright rainbows skyline lighting the water now at noon from one heart made ocean washing under cities not broken with rage, instead returning courage clear so the ones and so the one taken never become the unfillable sadness dark matter spinning weightless far between suns alone for lifeless a silent dead thing memory lost forever cold mind from now true promise hidden yet somewhere hidden between never-ending fields but kept holy even far remembering somehow on top of higher consciousness once buried in this cave eternal awaiting without limit.
Many thanks to Bad Bunny, who accidentally contributed to the trajectory of this. I forgot. Whenever I mention, even it's their hypervectors. Thanks to Bad Bunny's hypervector, who nudged this last myth into the way it did. Kind of what would any song of himself, something like that.